The things that the majority of people tell you to work towards are the same things that hold so many people back from ever achieving any real sort of financial success. What are these things? Get a comfortable job, get a comfortable salary, get comfortable benefits, get a comfortable 401k, and get comfortable health insurance. The problem is this comfort and this false sense of security ends up being a drug that you want and that you need and that you crave. You want this sense of safety. You want this sense of security. You want this sense of comfort. And then once you have it, it's so hard to leave it. When in reality, if you really want to achieve wealth, you really want to achieve levels of richness that most people really only dream of, you have to be willing to leave that comfort. You have to be willing to leave that sense of safety, that sense of security. That way you can go out and take a risk. But in order to do that, you got to sacrifice everything that people tell you to work towards. When I was in law school, I was the one that was doing something completely different. Everybody thought that I had lost my mind because I did not want to go and work for a judge. I wasn't applying to work for the big law firms. I wasn't even trying to intern at these big law firms. The only time I applied for some sort of legal internship was towards the end of my law school career. This was after I started to get a little bit of traction on the internet, but I needed some experience in order to graduate law school. You had to meet some sort of experience requirements. And so I applied to this one law firm, and I remember I went to interview there, and the attorney who was interviewing me had looked me up on the internet and saw some of my stuff online, and he said, "Why do you want to come work for us? I mean, I'd rather come work for you." I didn't really know how to answer that question, and I didn't end up working there. I ended up working at a free legal clinic for a little while to get my experience. But I wasn't doing what the majority of people were doing because I knew I wanted to do something different. And this was a big risk for me. I understood it at the time. Yeah, I had some financial success. I saw some success in my businesses. I owned some real estate, but I wanted to achieve something much bigger. But I was throwing away this opportunity in my hand to make a nice, comfortable, six-figure, cushy salary where if I worked really hard as an attorney, I could work my way up to make a couple $100,000, maybe a few $100,000 a year as a partner, and I could just do what every other attorney was doing. If I worked hard as an attorney, it was a clear path to make a good salary, a comfortable salary. I'd have benefits, I'd have a 401k, I'd have healthcare, I'd have all the things that most people would want, especially with safety and the prestige of being an attorney. But instead, I decided to do something completely different. And it was very stressful at the time. I remember, especially in the early to middle part of law school, when I wasn't sure what I was going to do or how I was going to do it, I was struggling to sleep at night. I was having a lot of anxiety. I was waking up not sure what I was going to do because I had these big dreams. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I don't know what my family was going to think. I don't know how I was going to take care of my family. I don't know how I was going to do all the things that I wanted. I just knew that I wanted to achieve some sort of success, not the traditional way. But if you want to achieve any sort of real success, you can't do it without taking on any real risk. And in order to take on this real risk, you have to be willing to let go of some of the comfort. There's two ways that you can take the risk. You can buy the asset or you can build the asset. It's not going to happen through your salary alone, even though you can take a risk to earn a bigger salary, because even if you earn a big salary, if you're in the top 2% of earners in America and you're making over $206,000 a year, well, if you break your leg tomorrow or you get fired tomorrow and you can't go to work, well, now the income goes away. That's why you can't just rely on your salary, because your salary relies on you going to work. So the way that you can do it is by buying the asset or by building the asset. The way you buy the asset is now you take a risk with your money. You worked hard to make this money. You put in that time to get this money, and now you're going to take this money and you're going to put it out to buy something that's going to pay you. This could be stocks, it could be real estate, it could be buying a franchise, it could be buying a business, it could be buying startups, it could be potentially buying some cryptocurrency, it could be buying some sort of investment that you're buying for the sole purpose of making money. Now, of course, your financial education can help you make smarter decisions, but you're taking a risk with your money. And this type of traditional passive investing, whether it's stocks or real estate or whatever it might be, is going to earn you somewhere between 6 to 12% a year, generally over the long term. That is the historical long-term average return. The alternative now is you building it. This is building your own business, building your own business idea. This has no limit to the types of returns that you can see. You've seen entrepreneurs earn 2, 3, 400% returns in a year, sometimes even 1,000% returns in the early stages of your business, because now you are working to build something. We have seen so many examples of people building businesses with under $100, with under $1,000, and turning it into a multi-million-dollar business. There are countless stories of this on the internet, where now you can see people who start with next to nothing and achieve so much. How? Because they took a risk. Now, when you're willing to take a risk, you got to be willing to sacrifice the comfort, but then you also have to have the humility to be willing to fail. And you have to have the willingness to learn, and you have to have the discipline to work. If you don't have that combination of factors, it is going to be impossible for you to succeed, because you got to be willing to make that sacrifice. But now what people do is you make that sacrifice thinking, I'll put in the work, I'll put in the sacrifice, and now you're sitting there watching Netflix, you're sitting there not doing the work, you're sitting there getting beat by your competitors, and you're sitting there not learning how to succeed. And you got to understand that being willing to take risk is just one part of the equation. And then you got to deal with all the legal issues, which if you're not an attorney, it can be extremely overwhelming. Like I remember when I started this Minority Mindset brand, I trademarked the name Minority Mindset because I was familiar with the law at the time, and so I wanted to protect myself. Well, a little bit after I started the Minority Mindset, I got this threat of somebody saying that they were going to sue me because they had used this term Minority Mindset in some blog post before, and now they were trying to get money out of me. They wanted to sue me because I was using the name. Now, I was fortunate. I was protected because I had the trademark on my name. I was legally shielded because I had that protection. But this is where now, if you're just starting off, you can be susceptible to people trying to screw you over. You can be susceptible to the legal issues. You don't have the right protection. This is where you want to make sure that, one, you have the right mentors and people around you. Now, on this legal side, this is the reason why I started Buzz Legal, which is my law firm, which helps people who have a business idea protect their business idea through trademarks, copyrights, patents. If you want to learn more about Buzz Legal, I got the link down in the description below. But this is where you got to understand risk comes with potential reward. Risk doesn't come with reward, it comes with potential reward. Comfort is a drug. Once you get a taste of it, either you're going to fall in love and you're going to want more of this comfort. You're going to want that cushy feeling and you're not going to want to ever leave that comfort, or you're going to taste the comfort and you're going to say, I can't have this. I need something else. I can't have this simple, basic life, and I need some more risk in my life. And you got to decide where it is that you want to be, because sometimes in order to achieve bigger levels of success, you got to let go of what's comfortable right now. And it can be painful because now you're leaving something that's providing you with an income. You're leaving something that's giving you that security. You're leaving something that gives you that sense of everything's okay. I don't got to worry about anything. And now you got to go out and create something or build something or do something where there's no guarantee. But if you do this and you can succeed here where there's no guarantee, there's no limit to how much money you can make. If you stay where you're comfortable, if you stay where everything is comfy and cushy, well, there's going to be a limit to how much you can earn. There's going to be a limit to how much wealth you're going to see. But if you really want to do something bigger, you got to leave the comfort and start working for something a lot bigger. And since this is a financial channel, I should also touch on the tax impact of this, because the reality is there's two different types of money that you can earn. You can earn money from what you do, and you can earn money from what you own. And the money that you earn from what you do, this is your salary for going to work, whether it's your own business or whether you're working for somebody else. Your salary comes with the highest tax rates and it comes with the least tax deductions. But the money you make from what you own, whether it's your investments or the profits from your own business, this comes with potentially lower tax rates or higher tax deductions. Our tax code incentivizes you to take risks. Now, whether it's there to tell you to take risks or whether it's there to benefit you for taking a risk, that's a different topic. But the reality is our tax code rewards you for taking a risk. Whether it's taking a risk with your money to invest your money, or it's taking a risk with your time to build a business, because now you have the opportunity to take advantage of, for one, lower tax rates, and for two, higher tax deductions. But if you really want to succeed and build a business that can pay you for the rest of your life and allow you to live that life that you dream of, you have to, for one, be disciplined enough to work. You got to be daring enough to take a risk. You got to be crazy enough to fail, and you have to be humble enough to learn. Now, if you want some more resources to stay up to date on the latest business trends, then you can join Business Briefs, which is my free newsletter for entrepreneurs, business owners, and founders, where my team is working to keep you up to date on the latest business trends and funding trends. It's completely free. You can read the newsletter in 5 minutes every morning, and I'll keep you up to date on what's happening in the business world. That way you can spend your time working to build and grow your business. I got the link to Business Briefs down in the description below. the first thing you have to do is define what this means. If you have $100,000, are you rich? Are you rich if you have $1 million? Are you rich if you have $10 million? What is it when you're rich? And the best definition that I have found on this is rich or wealth is a measure of time. $100,000